real good with these pictures on this part of it.
Well, thank you. You did it.
I didn't arrange the pictures, did
Oh, I guess that's true.
I? I think Terry did it. But those are good pictures for the early little boy,
Yeah.
all three of them.
Okay, now are you going to start? You're going to read through it. We'll see how it flows.
Okay.
Let's see if we read through the whole thing.
Well, we'll see. We're going to start it.
Okay.
In the early 1900s, there was a little boy living on a homestead in Wyoming. He had no playmates other than the little wild animals. He was aware of his surroundings and very curious and very observant. His father was a traveling preacher and was gone a large portion of the time. His stepmother was jealous and cruel. Most of his schooling was self-study on his own. He would see beautiful horses and riders now and then on the prairie. He formed plans and visions in his mind for what he would do one day in the future. He observed fishermen catching fish. He was a can-doer, so he watched and quickly learned to catch fish too. In later years, I guess it's all right to put his name there, Lorne built a skiff, a shallow, flat-bottomed boat for his fishing, and actually sold fish. That's his history as a little boy. What's a boatswain?
I don't know.
You put that word in there, and I don't know what it meant, and I just left it. You said his first work was on boatswain.
Well, maybe I misread the word in your story because I don't know what that is.
I don't either.
I'll go back and look at your notes. Maybe what should it be?
Well, I think all you need is his first work was on a cabin boat.
Okay, I'll
and
fix
just
that.
Cut it out.
Okay. Yeah, we can just cross that out. Perfect.
Now, did that fit in all right with the last of the last page?
Great. Yeah.
Okay. His first work was on a cabin boat used by his preaching father to serve small congregations along the river. The pilot wheel he created was a masterpiece. It was evident this young man had inherited some strong carpenter genes. Tracing back, they must at least partially have come through his mother, Hazel Gill. Her father, Arthur Gill, was a master carpenter. Well, you know what the pictures are. Lorne then worked on a steamship and barge to ferry cars across the Missouri River. It seemed no task was too difficult for this young can-doer, Lorne Arthur Nicely. Visions of the riders on beautiful horses remained in his thinking. Someday, perhaps he could be one.
Perfect.
That ends all right, huh?
Yeah.
But see, this wasn't in the story at all.
What was it?
This next page. It was in here somewhere, but I don't know where. But maybe this is all right to put it next. One day he saw a picture of a young woman he would like to meet. He called her, introduced himself, and asked for a date. He was refused. Well, I will try again, Lorne said. So he did try again. He asked that young woman again to go out on a date. Same result. This didn't work for a can-doer, so he tried again. This time he would ask her to a church playoff basketball game. The young woman, Vera Reed, obviously was not an easy pushover, but the basketball game got her attention. She knew she would love to go see the game, but had no way to get there. She relented. He had won. By the way, the young woman, Vera Reed, was me. Is that all right in there?
Oh, it's great. I think it fits perfect.
Oh, you're judging here, and you can say what should be or shouldn't be. He was very well-mannered and showed concern for my interest. Dates became an ongoing thing. Lorne's conquering genes were always in place, and I was receptive. In about a year, the subject of marriage came up. One was planned. My mother even planned a small reception, but soon she changed her mind. Most of my wages were going to my mother. Lorne stopped on the way to my place to get his hair cut for the wedding. The candor had come this far and was taking no chances of losing me. In the barber shop, he asked a man if he... I didn't mention in here that I wasn't of age. I don't think that's necessary.
No.
In the barber shop, he asked a man if he would go with him to the courthouse to get the marriage license. The man did Lorne a favor and got the license. Maybe I should say Lorne there. When he arrived, should I have his name there?
I think it sounds okay. I think we know we're talking about Lorne.
Okay. When he arrived at our house, he discovered my mother really had changed her mind. She did not want the two of us to get married. She suggested we just go on a date and to a movie. She really didn't know the candor. Walking to the movie, Lorne informed me that he had the marriage license. He asked me if I would like to stop into the Grand Avenue Temple where a prayer service was going on. When it was over, he would ask the minister to marry us, and that's just what he did. Now see, this is all kind of new in there,
Yeah.
but it fits in okay.
Yeah. I think it's flowing very well.
The trailer. Jobs were very hard to find. Lorne took a job selling magazines, and we traveled all over the United States. When I became pregnant with Carly, moving with the baby would be a hardship. The old candor's mind came up with the idea of a trailer to live in. We moved to his aunt's place in Independence, Missouri, and on her lot, he began the project. Axle, wheels, and running gear. He then welded a whole house trailer frame, not an old box trailer, but an unheard of, streamlined, for those days, easy to pull trailer and built-in living quarters. The front roof corners were rounded. He did this with hardware cloth filled with paper mache. He had the windows framed aluminum. He ordered the paneling and siding, built the cupboards, a dresser, a wardrobe, table, and benches that turned into a bed for Carly. He made an inside commode that emptied into a bucket on the ground below the trailer. There was a sink in the V of the front with a counter on each side. There were cupboards along the counter and more up above along the ceiling. There was a water tank under the sink. There was also a counter along one side with a 2-burner kerosene stove and a removable oven. He also handmade the outside door. The back of the trailer was sloped, containing a large trunk. Against the varnished inside wall was a couch that converted into a double bed. The dresser formed the bedroom division on one side and the wardrobe on the other. There was a cupboard built in all the empty space along the ceiling. A sliding step under door. It was always easy to enter. We had no trouble parking this novel trailer. Filling stations gave us water for our tank because our trailer seemed to bring them onlookers and more customers.
That was excellent.
Finish.
That was excellent.
Huh?
Very well written. That was really good.
You've rewritten this for me, haven't you?
No, I just no.
No. While he was selling magazines in Wyoming, Lorne found that he could make money in the timber business. So for a while he worked in the high country, felling trees and hewing railroad ties. I worked in the cookhouse, covered in snow to the windows. I guess you made some captions under it. That's all right. Where was I? Over the years, and with the trailer, we had finally saved enough money to invest in a place of our own. Having traveled all over the United States, Lorne asked me where I would like to live. I chose Colorado. We settled just north of Fort Collins, Colorado, in an old farmhouse on 15 acres. The house was on about 2 acres near the highway. The remaining acreage had a nice creek running the length of it with 2 acres in orchard and the other in pasture. The old house had 2 bedrooms and a wood stove with no modern conveniences. I don't think we even had electricity. There was an outhouse with a bath. That's the end of that.
I thought
Now
that.
here's where I want my chickens.
Okay.
I don't know where we'll put them, but I've got about 6 or 8 showing their color.
Okay.
They're different color. In this little fenced-in pen. And he had built this above, and then that chicken pen, and then kind of a milk, where you could milk a cow.
Okay.
New possibilities, should I say, now existed. It was, you said, you wrote in here, still existed. Well, still didn't fit, but I just scratched and said new possibilities
I
exist.
think that's great.
Okay. He bought a 2100, I should put egg in there, shouldn't I? Egg incubator.
Okay. Yes. That's a good catch.
And set it up in the cellar of the old house. It wasn't even, well, it was concreted around the foundation, but the rest of it was just dirt. But it was a cellar. It would hold 700 eggs per week. That's a pretty good-sized incubator. Feeders and water in a heated pen to remove chicks when hatched. There was another pen for feathering chicks. When they were fully feathered, he moved them out into a fenced strip of green grass with an enclosure for that wasn't roosters, it was a roost for the chickens, a little enclosure.
Okay.
And you can word that better to make it more understandable when you get there, you know what it is.
Okay.
Between the house and the creek, he built chicken pens and a shed. Well, it was kind of a shed over it that went back of the house. If I find the picture, it will be seen. He also built stalls for the small herd of Jersey milk cows. I got that picture, including a bull. I don't know whether Nugget's in there or not.
No, I didn't get that. I do have the picture of the bull, though.
Well, this is all right. It shows the stalls. We milked the cows and sold the milk to the local creamery. We also had an orchard where Lorne picked fruit and would deliver and sell it to local buyers. You notice I've scratched a few things.
That's good. That's great.
Now, I don't remember. that this was next.